will be ours.
You lost this war before you started, fool.
Primary threat spotted.
Moving into position. Neutralizing.
Take cover! Strike from the sky, brothers! This planet is ours, witch.
No. This planet is theirs.
Subsector Aurelia. This cluster of worlds stands on the very edge of the Imperium of Man. From this frontier came the Blood Ravens, a chapter of the Emperor's own Space Marines. Savage aliens seek to overpower the sector and break the Blood Ravens once and for all. Captain Davian Thule and a handful of Space Marines lead the raw recruits defending these worlds. Now, another Space Marine joins this desperate battle. A newly promoted commander, ready to lead in our darkest hour. You are this Space Marine. And you will tip the balance toward victory.
Calderis. We Blood Ravens select our initiates from this world's fierce warriors. Calderis is the cradle and the future of our chapter. Now, the orcs would take it from us. This, we cannot allow. We face our darkest hour. Captain Thule has fallen to aliens who have escaped retribution. A massive hive fleet looms over our recruiting worlds. But this battle is not over.
Tyranids have a simple and terrible agenda, Commander. Left unchecked, they will kill and consume every living thing on the planet. Our only hope of stopping the Tyranids is to strike at the heart of the Hive Fleet itself. For us to do this, you must first accomplish 3 critical tasks. You must locate and secure the astronomic array hidden on planet Typhon. Only its precise scans will allow us to analyze the Hive Fleet and locate its weaknesses. You must also obtain a sample of the Hive Fleet's biotoxins. Only a pure gene sample will allow us to develop a poison to strike at the Hive Fleet. And you must secure access to Angel Forge on planet Meridian. Only this ancient forge's vast manufacturing capabilities will allow us to produce weapons with which to deliver our poison. Each of these tasks pits your handful against untold billions. But failure means the utter annihilation of our worlds, and a death sentence for our chapter. Meridian stands at the very heart of Subsector Aurelia. Billions call its cities home. Its factories and forges are keys to victory against the Tyranids. We must not allow Meridian to fall.
Attention, Xeno attack imminent. All residents report to designated half shelters without delay. Display identity badges at all times. Report Xeno sightings without delay. Remember, the faithful shall have the Emperor's protection.
Planet Typhon orbits a star on the outer edge of Subsector Aurelia. Its lush jungle canopy shrouding it in mystery. Among this beauty lie the keys to our salvation, and the roots of our destruction. This ancient astronomic array holds one of the keys to victory against the Tyranids. With its data, we can uncover weaknesses of the Hive Fleet. We must secure the array before others do. At the heart of the Tyrannid hive lies the reclamation pool. We must have a sample of this purified essence. With it, we may revive Captain Thule. With it, we may develop weapons against the Hive Fleet itself.
Administering the antitoxin.
Powering the armature. Captain Thule, can you hear us?
The vile intelligence at the heart of the Hive Fleet has made itself vulnerable. Strike as its tendrils tap into the planet below. Feed it the poison we have developed. No matter the cost, you must bring it low. Long ago, the Emperor foresaw humanity's need for warriors unlike any others. Warriors who could face the unbearable horror lurking among the stars. Who, on the day of certain defeat, would be victorious. You and your Space Marines are those warriors, Commander. Thanks to you, human life still thrives in Aurelia. The Blood Ravens still have their recruiting worlds, and the Imperium still thrives in the Aurelia sector. Your deeds will never be forgotten.
Only a year ago, the Aurelian sector was all but doomed. The hive ships of the Tyranids hung over each world, seeding them with obscene creatures. The Tyranids were ready to feast. But these worlds are also the recruiting ground for the Blood Ravens, a chapter of the Emperor's own Space Marines, and they refused to yield. The veteran Targus weathered pitiless alien attacks, allowing Cyrus and his scouts to find weaknesses in our ravenous foes. While Avitus leveled his righteous fury upon the Xenos, Thaddeus descended upon them on wings of fire. And Davian Thule, the first to fall against the Tyranids, returned from death in the form of a mighty dreadnought. You led them all, Commander. Together, you fought across the deserts of Calderis, through the jungles of Typhon, and beneath the great spire cities of Meridian. You faced an implacable enemy, and you triumphed. But there is a truth more implacable than any tyranny. A new threat will always emerge. Once, Planet Aurelia was the sector's crown jewel, home to billions of souls. Then came the warp storms. They pushed Aurelia into a new orbit, encased the planet in ice, and swallowed it whole. For 1,000 years, the warp held Aurelia in its terrible grip, depositing untold horrors across its surface. Now, Planet Aurelia has returned. It should be a barren ball of ice, but a signal is coming from its surface. A Blood Raven signal. A call for help.
You allow them to escape, Lord Aragast.
Because it serves me, Elafos. If we kill them now, we waste the value of the traitor in their ranks. Your vengeance can wait.
Of course, my lord. Of course.
Now, prepare for the next battle!
Your cursed ship is hiding, Tech Marine.
Hold your tongue, Avidus, and open your eyes.
The judgment of Carrion.
Yeah, 1,000 years ago, in this place, Moriah, mightiest of the Blood Ravens, battled the Great Ulker. With his dying breath, did Moriah stab at the heart of the Great One. What none could slay, he wounded. And so, noble Moriah died, with only his student Kyrus left to mourn him. Weakened, the Great One could not resist Kyrus. The hated student bound and shackled Ulker. Now, that bondage ends. As promised, Great One.
Oh, rise, little elephants. I remember our bargain.
Blood Ravens! Victory is ours! You have driven the Black Legion from the sector and banished the vile demon who sought to consume us. But a more terrible battle remains ahead. Our chapter is in the hands of a madman and a heretic. Kyrus, he who should be the greatest of us all, has bargained away his soul to the powers of chaos. And we are branded as renegades and traitors. My brothers, this will not stand. Commander, you and your brothers shall be our agents of purification within the chapter. Your actions have already set a shining example of honor and valor. And when none others could, you opened the eyes of Captain Diomedes to the corruption around him. Take the retribution back to Calderis. Diomedes awaits you there. You will assume command of the 4th Company, rightly taking the captaincy left vacant by Davian Thule. When the time is ripe to strike at Kyrus and the rot in the chapter, we shall contact you. When that day comes, we must all be ready. Let none find us wanting.
By chapter and emperor, let none find us wanting.
Lord Paragon, it will be as I promised. The Blood Ravens will fall.
I am Gabriel Angelos, captain of the Blood Ravens. My chapter is in ruins. The sector is at war. Its worlds under siege. Chaos chaos spreads, consumes us all. Here, we will make our final stand. Here, there will be retribution. 10 years ago, we Blood Ravens destroyed the demon Alkair, ending his schemes to rot Subsector Aurelia into a festering hellscape. We thought our victory would mark the end of the war for the sector. We were wrong. New demonic incursions relentlessly plagued her planets, Aurelia, Typhon, Calderis, and Meridian. In response, the Imperial Guard, the Hammer of the Emperor, was deployed en masse to the sector to secure her, to defend her. Yet the incursions only grew in number, and soon were worsened by insurrection and madness among the Guard's ranks. Now the sector sits helpless, racked by constant, endless, unremitting war. We are Space Marines. We are the Blood Ravens. We would act, yet we too are locked in warfare with one another. Azariah Kairos, our chapter master and chief librarian, has declared the heroes of Aurelia to be renegades. Now we are hunted by our own brothers, brothers unaware of the chapter master's secret allegiance to Alkair. A corrupt Space Marine chapter master, a militia crippled by disorder and turmoil, demons, renegades, a sector that knows only war. The Imperium has had enough. One solution remains for the sector, a solution with which I am all too familiar. The Ordo Malleus approaches, the Holy Imperial Inquisition. Their colossal ships bear the munitions to perform exterminatus, cleansing every planet of the sector of life, Xenos and human, corrupt and innocent. Declared renegade, I cannot act against Kairos without shedding the blood of my brothers. Yet, hope endures. A handful of heroes still remain in service to the chapter, uncorrupted by Kairos' heresy. Led by Captain Diomedes, these heroes hunt the remnants of the vile Black Legion across the sector. However, Diomedes' hubris blinds him to Kairos' true nature. If the sector and chapter is to survive, he must first overcome his own pride.
We have arrived, and it is now that we perform our charge. In fealty of the God Emperor, our undying Lord, and by the grace of the Golden Throne, I declare exterminatus upon the Imperial world of Typhon Primaris. I hereby sign the death warrant of an entire world, and consign 1 million souls to oblivion. May Imperial justice account in all balance. The Emperor protects.
It is human nature to seek culpability in a time of tragedy. It is a sign of strength to cry out against fate, rather than to bow one's head and succumb. Inevitably, many shall fault the hands upon the sword which felled Typhon, the Ordo Malleus. But the Inquisition merely performs the duty of its office. To further fear them is redundant. To hate them, heretical. Those more sensible will place responsibility with those who forced the hands of the Inquisition. With some fortune, they may foster this hatred into purpose, and further rule their own fate by coming to the Emperor's service. Yet ultimately, it was I who set these events into motion, with a single blow from my hammer, God Splitter.
Report designates Centauris, Astropath Duct 1129-Theta-1. Priority message to Inquisitor Ed Marius. Message from Adrastia. The exterminatus of Subsector Aurelia is complete. The fleet has already departed. But I fear their task has left us with more. My acolytes have received a distress vox from Captain Gabriel Angelos of the Blood Ravens.
You sneaky little Humie. You thought yous could wiggle out of our deal and just kill old Blood Flag. But no. Instead, sneak in.
No, wait!
And if you's not good for a fight, then what good are you? Well, I guess this all wasn't a total loss. Time to teleporter, Mr. Nailbrain.
Adrastia, this is Diomedes. I am on Cyrene. Kyrus is dead. You must halt the exterminatus.
And what of Angelos?
We have rebuilt, and once more are great. We have forged a chapter not warped in enigma, but one the Emperor can look upon with pride.
This has been dark work, Diomedes. Kyrus left much corrupted, and cleansing had to be both thorough and merciless. Yet now, we are pure and noble.
It has been a necessary act, though. Our chapter lives, free of darkness and corruption at long last. I know I cannot serve the chapter in the same manner as before. But you, Gabriel, chapter master is fitting. None shall find you wanting.
I wonder if my dreams may finally end.
We should all be so fortunate to have such loyal kin.
I believe we already do.
You have served the craft worlds honorably, outcast. What shall you do now?
I shall bring my sister home.
Can't say I'm sorry to see her go, sir.
I share your sentiment, Sergeant Major. Though it's a poor excuse for an Inquisitor that doesn't make people uncomfortable. You are to be commended on your performance these past few days, which is why I am putting you in for a medal and not having you shot for insubordination.
Thank you, sir. And you've turned out to be a good commander. Which is why I didn't shoot you for incompetence.
What was that?
I said I was shocked by your competence, sir.
Ah. That's what I thought you said. Carry on, Sergeant Major. Carry on.
Report 893880 of this lunar cycle. The final transmissions from Subsector Aurelia, filed 43.6 years ago. By order of the Holy Inquisition, Subsector sentenced to Exterminatus. Hive fleet emerges from all sides. Exterminatus fleet driven away. Defense attempted but Imperial forces already crippled. Imperial Guard losses reached 94% before forces withdrew. Surviving loyal Blood Ravens losses, total. They refused to retreat.
In darkness, I shall be light. In times of doubt, I shall keep faith. In throes of rage, I shall hone my craft. In vengeance, I shall have no mercy. In the midst of battle, I shall have no fear. In the face of death, I shall have no remorse.
Skies shall light the way, and blood shall spill over the wandering world. The spear of Cain shall call the wayfarers, and the Storm Prince shall unite them. Their victory shall shake the heavens. Orc hordes threaten to overrun planet Cyprus. Yet, by order of the Imperial Commander, Inquisitor Holt, reinforcements were kept in high orbit and forbidden from landing upon the planet. Leaving the
Knights of House Warlock on their own to defend against the rampage. Help arrived when the Blood Ravens descended from the sky. Their chapter master, Gabriel Angelos, defied the Inquisitor's blockade and came to the aid of House Warlock.
Brothers, rise! We have orcs to kill! For the Emperor!
The Inquisitor was not pleased. Along a battlefield, planet Cyprus was littered with the wreckage of the armies and war machines that had contended there. To most, it was a scarred wasteland. But for the orcs, it was a rich bounty of valuable scrap. The orc Gorguts came to Cyprus to avail himself of these riches, and pledged his allegiance to one of the local war bosses. But few believed that he would be satisfied being a servant for very long. The Eldar warlord, Kaya, was obsessed with the prophecy of Cain, and sent his army to Cyprus to await the re-emergence of the wandering world. But Kaya's army met unexpected resistance from the local orcs. Kaya sent the Farseer Maka to assist his forces. Based upon her auguries, Maka did not trust the prophecy. And suspected there were sinister forces at work. Their fates seemingly intertwined, Maka and Angelos faced each other, their history lingering between them. Once they had been allies, an entente that was split by betrayal, and now, on this day, they were enemies. Maka under orders from Kaya to kill Angelos. But the battle was to be short-lived and inconclusive. For on that day, at the same time as they struggled, Acheron, the wandering world of the Eldar prophecy, emerged from the warp after 5,000 years. Acheron's arrival rained fiery debris on Cyprus, and as an errant spire impacted between them, Farseer Maka came to understand that she was now part of larger events that were unfolding around her. These events would spill the blood of legions, and would yet have a role for Gabriel Angelos. Gorguts and Kaya's armies clashed ferociously before the gate to the altar of the spear, seeking to secure their master's claim to the weapon. Unbeknownst to the warriors below, Inquisitor Holt, unable to take possession of the spear, sought to preclude anyone from obtaining it, and indiscriminately unleashed his powerful orbital cannon on the armies below.
prophecy comes to pass. The way is open.
But the bombardment had consequences unforeseen by the Inquisitor, smashing the gate to the altar and opening the way to the spear. To Kaya, this was no accident, but the prophecy coming to pass.
Together, we can finally see.
Farseer Maka divined that the prophecy and the spear and the entire enterprise were an elaborate trap. Even then, the spear of Cain, for which so much blood had been spilled, lay within reach of those that sought it. Gorguts arrived first, but Kaya challenged him, and in a swift battle, vanquished him. In his moment of ascendant victory, the trap was sprung on Kai, and it was his blood that was spilled by the spear. It was not the weapon of an Eldar god, but a trinket to lure us like lambs to a blood sacrifice. A ritual to revive an ancient evil and unleash him from the ice. Released from dormancy and engorged with blood, the demon arose. The impact of the ship shattered the mantle of Acheron, smashing it into a multitude of fragments. Those that did not find means to escape perished. Though reduced in stature, the demon was not killed. And the core of his dominion remained. The demon defeated and the prophecy broken, the alliance was dissolved, and the wayfarers went their separate ways.
At least I got my pointy stick.